It
there's
doesn't
anything,
really matter.
if there's, oh, actually it does, because I want to make sure that I don't, because when you get excited,
Yes.
when Mohammed gets a bit excited, it gets a bit
No,
loud.
does not.
It does.
It does not.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, isn't it great to see you, Kathy, again?
It's so good to. It's always good to see you. You're very ageless. What kind of moisturizer do you use? Patience that he has. Cello, I'm Kathy with a K, radio broadcaster in Honolulu and Hawaii POV, a talk story series, Radio Music Hawaii. And I've been dedicating some time catching up with people I had worked with at the very first radio station I got my learn on, which was Radio Free Hawaii, and that was in the early to mid and late 1990s. But this cat right here is Mohammed. So Mohammed was a radio personality at Radio Free Hawaii, and he worked nights, and he went by Mad Mohammed, Mad Mo. Thank you for making time to chat up.
It's been a long time, Kathy.
It's been a while. We're in May 2019, and I remember seeing Mohammed IRL at Kapiolani Park in Waikiki. I think one of your kids was playing soccer or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was with a friend and we were walking around, and my friend was like, that looks like Mohammed. and then so we caught up and said hi. It might have been even 10 years ago. It was a while ago.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Time flies too fast.
Yeah, but every so often when people see me and they remember Radio Free Hawaii, they start ticking down the different personalities, and you are in like the top 5 most requested. Where are they now? Was he for real? And all that kind of stuff. So if you could indulge me with time traveling back to even before KTUH, your origin story, landing here in Manoa on Oahu in Hawaii. Mohammed.
All things are possible, Kathy.
Yeah. Where are you originally from?
That means where was I born?
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Bangladesh. It's a very small town. It's right next to Ohio, Dublin, Ohio. You're not going to bite that one, right? Okay.
This is a little sampling of Mohammed circa 1992.
It's not Dublin, but it's close to Cleveland.
Okay.
But that's not what it is. So Bangladesh is a very small country.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Asia, South Asia.
Mm-hmm.
55,000 square miles.
Okay.
A lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
good people. How did I come to Hawaii? I think that's the question. It's the ticket is the University of Hawaii.
Why the University of Hawaii?
It's Bookham Dono, Steve McGarrett, the answer. This is for real.
It was because of Hawaii 5-0? You
Yes.
caught up with the romance of Jack Lord?
Well, no, because I wanted to know why Steve always has to ask Dono to Bookham. Why not Chinho? Why not? No, wait. Chinho. Kono. Why not Kono?
Mm-hmm.
I thought this would be my ticket to go to Hawaii and figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, we really thought the reason Steve always asked Dono to book him, because Dono is obviously the white man. White man knows better. Kono, Hawaiian, probably doesn't know English language, how to read or write. And the Chinho is a Chinese guy, probably knows how to read and write Chinese. So it would be obvious Dono is the right man to choose. That's what I thought. So, but I guess I had to figure that out. Maybe that was not the case.
Mm-hmm. So back to why the University of Hawaii.
The University of Hawaii, as I said, I think that's the real story. I was introduced to the University of Hawaii through Steve McGarrett. That's exactly the story is.
Okay. So
and then I could have chosen, actually, I had 3 choices.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, Arizona, and Hawaii. So among all 3 of them, then I thought Hawaii would be more greener. The weather, of course, warmer. Was Florida also warm too? So I ended up with Hawaii. It's a short story. I like to be here so much. I think I like more Hawaii than ever before. I think it seems like not enough of Hawaii for me.
When you were going to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, what courses were you taking? What was your
studying? I have undergraduate degree and graduate degree both. Area is environmental health and environmental science. A lot of people confuse what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Well, the human health. We understand kidneys are not doing great. That's human health.
Okay.
We also have health of the environment. For example, the water quality. For example, the air we breathe, the soil where we grow our food. Is that soil clean enough so we are not getting heavy metals in our papaya? The health of papaya is the environmental health.
Okay.
For example, I'm sure you buy apples, right? When you look at this apple, you have to know whether you like it or not, that apple has chemical, right? We have chemical. Otherwise, the apple wouldn't look that healthy. The issue is how much above or below that level called tolerance level. That's the health of the apple. So that's the health of the environment. So that's the kind of it's called toxicology, study of toxicology.
How did you get into that? What happened when you were a kid that it kind of narrowed down by the time you were going to college and taking like your liberal arts and figuring out, this is what I want to specialize in. This fascinates me.
You know, I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you one thing. I grew up in a very small village in Bangladesh. The name of the village is Abalpur. I still remember then 5th grade or 4th grade, some of the fish are dead. And I always wanted to know why. And as a matter of fact, when I studied newspaper, and that specific article, I used to save them. So, I don't know, maybe I was born with that. I want to know why the surrounding, I want to know my surroundings. So now this is exactly what I did. Why this fish is dead. How much chemical that fish ingested. I want to know that. So maybe that's what it is. I was born with knowing your surroundings, knowing your land, knowing your water, knowing your flood, understanding your drought, understanding monsoon rain. That's where I come from. But you know, a lot of people think monsoon rain is a travesty for the nation. But you know where I come from? Sometimes monsoon rain is a blessing, because what it does, that rain flood the entire region. So because of that, so your land could have been naturally silted, which is what means your land is now more fertile. Even though it caused so much calamity, at the same time, now you know your land is fertile. So it doesn't matter how you look at it, they're both sides some beneficial health effects.
So having all this information and being able to understand numbers and statistics, does that make you more optimistic or cynical when it comes to the overall health of our global situation? So you were aware of climate change and had an opinion about it before Al Gore got on the scene and invented the internet, you know, that kind of thing?
It all depends.
Are
you talking to a Democratic scientist or are you talking to a Republican scientist? That's the right answer. It's so unfortunate that science could be altered. I don't get that part.
Is it the presentation of the science?
I don't know, because I hear individual with PhD, his story very different from other individual with PhD degrees. Then the bottom line here, that is probably communist-leaning scientist. And the other on the right, perhaps Joseph Stalin-leaning scientist. By the way, a lot of people today I hear they worship Joseph Stalin because he stopped Nazi warfare in Russia. So when I heard that, I just said, wow, all things are possible. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, certain things are uttered, and it's like, that is one way to look at it. That's a way to, the way something's presented and the way something is received, it changes day to day.
It's unbelievable. So going back to the greenhouse effect, all of that. You know, recently I was in a U.S. Army garrison in Kwajalein Atoll.
Kwajalein, yeah.
Yeah, that's the country name is RMI, Republican of Marshall Islands. So U.S. Army is renting a bunch of islands over there. So I was able to go to a neighboring island called Ebi. When you look at that island, so if our water level really rise, maybe a few feet, the whole island is going to be beneath the water. That's your greenhouse effect. Regardless you're a Democratic or Republican-leaning scientist, I could care less. That's the statistics right there. Simple as that. That's the way I see it. And also, you know, the birthplace, my birthplace, Bangladesh, is the southern part of the country is in a delta. That's why the nation is so fertile, because the whole nation is in delta. About few feet, if the water level rise, the whole nation is going to be under the water. Doesn't matter what kind of book you read, Republican or Democratic books, Democratic statistics or Republican statistics, doesn't matter. I don't think it does. I don't think it does at all. The facts is, we see water level is rising. I don't know what other facts we need. I don't need Al Gore to tell me that. Reminiscing the past, the Radio Free Studios, the free mic, and I remember those days. I miss that. And Norm, I miss Norm the most. I don't even remember how many times he fired me.
Did he ever like grab his beret and throw it on the ground? He would only do that with Mohammed. I don't know if he's ever done that.
I think only thing we did just argue.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when I see we have to argue about everything. I don't know why. Maybe because I like Norm a lot.
How did you get to Radio Free Hawaii?
90s, I still live in Kapaholu. One day I just received a call.
Who called you?
Of course, that's a landline. Got to be landline in the 90s. Our children wouldn't know.
1990s.
Yeah, it's the 1990s.
Yeah.
Our children today don't understand what landline means. Unfortunate, I think. So, that was the guy with the green beret. And that's how I met Norm. And I remember we met at King Street. Yeah, not in Waipahu Shack. Next thing you know, Radio Free Hawaii on the radio. Yeah, that's how it's all started. I think Hawaii had something good called Radio Free Hawaii. So I don't know how other station is, but one of the things about our studio, remember, we never sat down. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
So I never sat down for a whole 7 to midnight show, something like that. We never sat down anywhere, just continually, I guess, positive energy over the airwaves from the shack. I like the shack.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the shack. It was a pristine shack.
Yeah.
I missed that pristine shack.
At first, when you were working your 7 to midnight show on Radio Free Hawaii, it was KDEO FM.
Yeah, 102.7 FM.
Yeah. One of the issues, because we were a commercial radio station, we wanted to keep our license and not disrupt the FCC. Some of the songs that you would play had a lot of swearing in it.
Yeah, F words.
Yes,
like four-letter words.
Yeah. But it was because you were following the rotation for the artists. How did you get Sean Speedy Lopez to be your producer? How did he get wrangled into? Did you guys know each other from KTUH?
No, I never met him at the KTUH. No, I don't think so. I think I met him at Radio Free.
He was just like assigned to you? It was
and he is a good He is a good producer. The best. It's called Speedy because it's fast, it's quick. Yeah, I have many, but it's absolutely fantastic. That's Speedy is.
Did you wish you had someone to produce your show when you were at KTUH? What was the deal about KTUH?
KTUH.
Tell me how you discovered you, as a student, you could get a show on the radio.
I think, people probably born with something in them. I don't know what that is. When I was attending high school in my village, I used to listen to a radio.
Okay.
There's a 30-minute segment. It was a national show. And an individual used to come on the radio, he said, and he used to tell us, if you wanted to tell us who you are listening to us, radio name and your high school, will mention your name. So I used to write him once a week.
What was the name of the DJ?
I do not recall his name at all. One day, literally, he mentioned my name and my high school name. It was like the glorious day in my life. Oh gosh, I couldn't believe how happy I was. When I got here at the UH Manoa, then I heard there's such thing called radio station. Back home, radio station actually guarded by the military. So make sure about purging and broadcast, and it's called misleading, misnoming information on the radio. So maybe now it's different. Back then, that's how it was. When I heard there's a radio on campus, I said, for real? I said, in my mind, it's going to be guarded. No, it's like a regular building, Hemingway Hall. I literally walked in, and I see a station, I see the board. I said, are you for real? Then I talked to the management. They said, yeah, anybody can come in. Do a radio show here. I said, done. 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. The slot. Very quickly, I was able to get a daytime slot. Lucky.
Were you very comfortable just sharing your opinion, or was that something that you kind of built into it? Has your personality always been saying whatever comes to you?
The college radio is the best thing on the planet. You're a free thinker. Your brain is not encapsulated. Without that thick encapsulating pain. Pain is gone. It's out right now. Now you're spewing the blessing you got. You're telling everybody, this is the blessing I got. And I'm going to tell everybody, I am blessed. And here I got for you. This is what I got for you. Because you're blessed. That's what it is. But I hear the commercial broadcasting system, you really cannot go on the radio and say you've been blessed. What I meant by that, you have been limited. Example, Norm fired me too many times because Norm said, don't do this, and I did the opposite. That's why he fired me.
Yeah.
Well, even college radio, I had that. I'm going to tell since you want to know,
It wasn't.
Even that's free.
But
I was doing a broadcasting, okay?
Okay. You got to make sure this is still recording.
Yes. All it is, that day I called, it is going to be Muhammad's Sunday morning service. Okay. I said that.
Okay.
I never realized that's it's considered blaspheming.
Blasphemy.
Yes, blaspheming. But I am offending people by saying that. I wasn't aware of that. A week after, there's a letter came to the president of the University of Hawaii that I was insulting some religious group. I was shocked. Maybe one time we said, I think something to do with the baptism. See, baptism, it could be with the towel. Sometimes people used to call me towel head, so I thought we could baptize people with the towel. So it doesn't work that way. It has to be water, but it doesn't say what kind of water.
Right.
Is it salt water or fresh water? So the issue came up something like that. We discussed openly, but it was all discussion. That's all discussing. And so that somehow I offended group of Baptists, whatever that means. I believe it's a religious group. There's a lot of religious clubs out there. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but they have different paths. I guess their path's probably the correct path. So they didn't think my path was the right one. So that was the complaint about. And I was shocked. Our advisor, his name is Bob. Bob said, here's the letter. I read the letter. I just said, wow. Then I said to Bob, what do you need to do? Bob said, I just need to discuss this with you. And didn't put any restriction whatsoever. But even though college radio, you still do get complaints like that.
Yeah.
That was a complaint. That was it. I was surprised. So I know, even the college radio, you may have to go through that. But it's still, I think the college radio is the best.
Were you surprised, or did that kind of fuel your want to continue to push buttons? No, and you weren't even pushing buttons. It was more like, if this is being said to me and I shouldn't take it personally, why not share the same sentiment on the radio? Or
Yeah,
but I always thought it was like devil's advocate. Whatever somebody was calling and saying, you would, at least the times I would listen, you would take the opposite side. So if people thought you were maybe very liberal or very conservative, it was like, you're right, because you're hearing whatever you want to hear.
You know, people talk about left and right and the middle and the center. The way I see things in life, you have to have an opinion, and that's about it. And that opinion could be left, right, central, middle, south, north. I think I could care less about that. But as far as you mentioned about pushing button, never did.
Yeah.
I think I'm blessed. I'm happy that I was able to say what I wanted to say. I think that's what it is. And I think we should have an opinion. I think there is so many issues out there, and when people do not express, I think something wrong with that. We should have an opinion. If we do not have, then I just think it's something incomplete in one's life. That's the way I see things. But interesting though, Radio Free Hawaii one time, this individual was complaining live on the radio. I'll never forget that one. And he was complaining, not college radio, but Radio Free Hawaii.
Okay.
He was complaining. He went to an establishment in Waikiki, burger joint or something like that. The person behind the counter did not speak the language he wanted her to speak.
Okay.
And that's why he's offended. I said, why are you offended? Then he said to me, well, I demand her to speak English. Then I asked him a simple question, what is the official language of this nation? He said English. Then I corrected him, no, incorrect. You still don't know that. This nation doesn't have an official language. You didn't know that, number one. And number two, what language was she speaking anyway? Then he was telling me, I don't know, Spanish or something. Then I just said to him, why does she need to speak English to you? Can you explain that to me? English is a foreign language. Spanish is a foreign language. We're talking about two different foreign languages. So which one she should be using? Isn't it up to her? Oh, the guy was offended. This is America. We have to speak English. I said, you're a moron. You just proved it. Two languages come to this country from two different places. One from England, one from Spain. Nothing wrong with that using both of them. And if you don't like it, go to somewhere else where they speak your own language. You know what I call that? Misinformed, unfortunately. Misinformed. Isn't it sad? Well, I see a bunch of them like that nowadays. You don't need to be misinformed. The word is only one simple word: tolerance. And it is entirely possible. Just tolerate others. One of the basic tenets of humankind, I believe.
I'm curious, because you have such a zeal for the world at large. How does your wife and your kids, do they experience or hear this fever pitch side of you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Every day.
Really?
Every day. You know, one of the happiest moments for me going to be this Saturday. My daughter is graduating.
Oh,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it
Thank
from
you.
high school or college?
No, college.
From college.
She's 21,
Mm-hmm.
getting her bachelor's degree in education.
Wow. At
I'm
the
so-
University of
Yeah,
Hawaii
yeah.
at Manoa.
Manoa, best university on the planet.
Okay, so is she your eldest?
She is my second child.
Second child.
Yeah, she's 20. My oldest boy is 22.
Mm-hmm.
She's 21. The third one is 16,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 11th grade right now.
Mm-hmm.
And number 4 is 4-year-old. I'm just completely blessed. You see, we go through different stages in life,
Mm-hmm.
and people talk about the word success story.
Mm-hmm.
My success story is when my children feeds me. I think anybody's life, in my opinion, to see children grow. And they go out there, they help others, and they help you, and that's called success story. So that's all I want for my children. A better person, a good-hearted person, and feed me when I'm hungry. That's the definition of a success story.
You were already out of college by the time
Radio Free, yes.
You were
yes.
already out of college.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
were you doing to support yourself? What kind of jobs were you doing?
Castle High School.
That's right. You're
Math-
a teacher. Yes.
Math and science teacher.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So sometimes I go to school, Castle High, teaching 8 to 4, 8 to 3, I think so. Then by 7 o'clock in the studio, 7 to midnight. When I was a college kid, 18-year-old boy, and today I'm still the same.
Yeah.
Still work 20 hours a day.
I walked into his office, glowtechgroup.com, and when I came in, Jocelyn was in the front,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, I have an appointment with Mohammed. She's, oh, he's right there. And I see Mohammed, and it's just like timeless, ageless.
Oh, gee, you
Really?
too? You too?
No,
You too?
no, it's because the video's rolling, that's why he's in there. Still have that similar, same kind of energy, that kind of go.
Yeah, go, you can say that.
Yeah.
So I'm in the water by 5:30, done by 7 every day practically.
This is going to be so hard to edit because I have him slamming the table. I just realized that it's going to be. So there's this big chunk that's
like-
missing. I'm going to have it on the bottom. It's like because he was.
It's like Radio Free Hawaii. Remember we had that Radio Free Hawaii, we had that
Counter?
yeah, counter. Yes, I use my counter at all time.
Yeah.
And one time, I guess that's probably who I am too often, but often I used to do a talk radio, another AM station.
Oh.
Yeah, 1080 AM. I don't know if that station exists or not, but one time Sam walked to me, said, Mohammed, you're pounding too much on the board. Can you not do that? So I said, okay, I'll not do that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, yes, pounding on the board.
Yeah.
I think it's something, it's me, maybe I shouldn't do that.
It's an exclamation point.
Is that what it is?
You're a living punctuation mark kind of thing. I don't know. How'd you find swimming? How did swimming
Oh.
become your go-to?
Well, because I want to do easy things in life. Anything easy, I like it. I thought swimming, walking, bicycling, these are easy things in life. You could do when you're 10, you could do when you're 110. So I thought, oh, great. I like to do that when 110 as well. So that's why I just picked those 3.
Must be super healthy.
No, I don't know about that. I mean, you know. So, but I just like it. I think it's great. The college radio is a volunteer, and I found a job there.
Oh.
Paid job.
Shut it down.
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was doing the traffic. I was doing called PSA. Do they call PSA in their station too? PSA.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, and the daily log, something like that. I used to put them on the log, so when they would come to the radio show, they followed the log. Yeah, I was happy. So I found every possible things to do on campus to make money so I can pay my sandwich and all that. Rent, food, saga food. I remember those days. I really liked the college camp.
Well, how was the transition from college life, and then you were a teacher and working as a radio host? How did you come to certify people in environmental, this world? When was it established?
Globe Tech? Globe Tech was born in November 9th, 1998. I think life is a journey, and that's all, nothing else. So we go through different stages. For example, drinking mother's milk. Well, that's how we begin. And then learn how to crawl. Run. What? Learn how to pick mangoes. In the village, that was one of my things in life. When I was in village, make sure I pick all those mangoes before homeowners wake up. See, that's called
time management.
Time management, and it's a journey.
Yeah.
Then high school, then college, getting married, wife, husband, children, children's college, then grandchildren. We would be blessed if we could do all of that. Among all those life, all those stages, which one is the best? We could ask a question like that. Every moment is precious. We may not get that 10 minutes from today. So every moment is precious. You know how lucky you and I are?
Super.
Super lucky, because we're not at the emergency room.
Yes.
See how lucky we are. So often we forget that we are super lucky and we are super blessed people.
How long have you and Sultana been married now?
23 years, I think. So
wow,
24.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 23, 24 years, something like that. Roughly around there.
What's that like? How's married life?
Life is good. I think married life is good. The right partner. Remember, the husband or wife, the most important person in your life. The most important person in your life. And often we probably end up with the wrong partner. Maybe that can create disaster. But if you have the right partner, the best.
I like how you just really soften up, like thinking about her. I should have led with that. Then it would be like.
It's called blessing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely blessing.
I know that you have 20 minutes to get to where you need to go.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. You're going to have to cut a lot, Kathy.
No, I think like the last time you left.
Yeah, that's for good.
What happened? Do you remember?
Yes, I kind of remember. Norm is a good guy. I think I wanted a specific time slot, and Norm, I think, told me no. Then Norm, on the phone, Norm said, yes, I'm ready to give it to you now.
Okay.
And then I think I told him, Norm, no, I don't think I want to do it now, but in the future maybe. And then we know what happened after that. Radio Free sort of off the radio, right? That's what happened. It's not bad at all. Yeah. The Norm is still Norm, I am Mohammad. And we still see each other and talk. Well, that's not an issue. And he fired me each time was not that anything I did wrong. Well, it is, I didn't listen to him. One time he said, don't talk about some speeches. I think that was John F. Kennedy's speech and Martin Luther King's speech. And he told me not to do that. And guess what I did that evening? That's all I talked about.
I'm so curious exactly what you said, but we're running out of time.
Yes.